for tuning in. You are tuned into Esoteric Guidance, and my name is Nehru. When I pressed play, it was 3:22, and it just turned 3:23, probably 2 seconds after. And that's AM, and that is Mountain Standard Time in the United States of America. I woke up at exactly 2 o'clock after one dream, but it appears to have been separated or perhaps stopped. Maybe I came back into 3D consciousness for a moment and then fell back to sleep or something like that. But I want to share some events, or the events, not some, the events that have happened over the last 24 hours. So, the enemy is definitely wanting us to stop talking. Okay? I have received confirmation on that. I received confirmation on that physically. The enemy wants us to stop talking. High vibrational beings, earth angels, light workers, star seeds, healers, empaths, divine masculines, divine feminine. I'm even getting away from saying the divine masculine and divine feminine at this point. But very interesting dream. And then I felt the need to do a little crown chakra meditation. And during that crown chakra meditation, I met with a spiritual deity whose name is Martha, Martha. That was the name above the head of this being. And also I was getting the name Santana. I've not looked up any of these things yet. In the coming days and moments, times, in the coming times, we will understand we will consciously know what that means. But this dream is involving Steve Parker, who is the senior minister at the Rock of Central Florida in Sanford, Florida. Again, for our newer subscribers, this is where I spent all of my time and all of my energy as far as who I thought were my soul tribe and close friends in a lot of cases. I'm going to also speak to some former friends and events that have happened in the last 24 hours. And so I started getting cassette tapes while I was still in the military through my friend Marcia, who passed 2 days after Kobe Bryant's plane crash in 2020. So she passed on 1/28 of 2020. And her and I started dialysis 3 months apart. Hers was due to neglect of her body. She was a diabetic. I was not. Mine was caused by immunoglobulin IgG4. Okay, and IgG4 can be nephropathy. It can be other things as well. It just depends on what it attacks. But it's an autoimmune virus. And yesterday, I celebrated the 7th anniversary of my kidney transplant. That happened on 7/7 of 17, while I was a part of the Rock of Central Florida. They have a team minister there whose name is Gaston. That is exactly how you spell his name. Gaston. Okay? in 2013, when I started dialysis, and my friend Marcia, she was in the hospital for 88 days the first time. Okay, 88. I was connected to someone, and the amount of days between our birthdays was an 8 and an 8. We are 16 days apart. I said were. We were 16 days apart. Exact same year. Okay? One's a Scorpio, and the other's a Sagittarius. I'll leave you to determine who's who. So, I was introduced to her by a mutual friend who was also a part of the Rock of Central Florida, or is. I disconnected from all of that in 2022. I left the Rock of Central Florida in September of 2022. So in this dream, it first starts with conversations amongst me, confirmations amongst me. It's 3:29 on the timer. It's 83 degrees. It just turned 3:30 when I looked. It just turned 3:30. So 33, that's what that breaks down to. So there's a conversation going on amongst myself, someone who is very close to me, but this individual is young. I'm not sure if this is, because I can't see their face. I only know their spirit and their energy. So I do know that there is someone here in the 3D who supports me. I don't know who this individual is. And this is just further confirmation. I was going to mention this in our next collective reading, but so there is someone here who is supporting me. I don't know who this individual is. I will say that it's someone that I am unaware of, and on recent videos, for a long time there was just one like on the video, okay? And I will tell you that that one like was me on the videos on this platform. But in recent times, there are now two. And I believe the second like on these videos is coming from this individual who is supporting me energetically. And again, I don't know who they are. And so we're having a discussion, the group of us. And again, this person, they seem younger. They seem as if they are a child. I'm certain it's a female, but they're probably not a child. My videos are not for children to watch, and they are marked as so. Confirmation with whatever that was. But we end up going to this house. And I'm certain now that I've seen this house in a dream past specifically. And in the dream prior, this house belonged to Kaylee and Matt Hoffman. Okay? They are what I would say are pillars at the Rock of Central Florida. Confirmation. Okay? So they are pillars at this place. Okay. They are also one of the couples who, or a couple, I should say, who have been there since they were teenagers, 15, 16 years old. They got married. I think Matt was maybe 19 when they got married. So they got married young. They knew early on that they were to be joined in marriage, and however that revelation came to them, okay? Also, both of their parents, or their sets of parents, also are part of the Rock of Central Florida. I'm going to mention their first names because perhaps these names are sequential, is the word I'm being guided to use, are sequential for your journey, okay? So one of the father's name is Timothy, or Tim, as he's commonly called. The other father's name is Joe, okay? His name might be Joseph, I don't know. It might just be Joe. One of the mother's names is Karen. That name comes up a lot, whether it's the spirit of Karen or as we know it in 3D or what have you. And then the other woman, her name is Lizbeth, not Elizabeth. It's spelled Lizbeth, and her middle name is Rose. Okay? So, someone with the last name that starts with an H, or someone with the last name that starts with a D. Okay? Might be significant for you in your journey as well. High vibrational beings. So we get to this house. Myself and this individual walk in. Now we're going to this house. It seems like we're going to this house, congregating there. Others are already there. And let me just do some return to senders. Return to sender times 5,000 with vengeance and a sword. Any spiritual witchcraft being sent to physical bodies of high vibrational beings. Return to sender times 5,000. Any witchcraft that's being sent to high vibrational beings with a sword and with vengeance. Return to the sender any witchcraft being sent to high vibrational beings with vengeance and the sword. And so we get into this house. And again, the prior conversation is something of going there for a vehicle or going there to pick up a vehicle or something like that. So I walk in. And again, this is a house. So it's not where they're located currently. Currently, the Rock of Central Florida, located in Sanford, Florida, is located at 611 State Road, West State Road 430 or 46. Okay, and that's that's 2 miles west of I-4, Interstate 4, on State Road 46 in Sanford, Florida. It is the second exit into Seminole County, coming out of Volusia County in Central Florida. And so we walk into this house. And there's a short hallway. Directly in front, there's a door. There's a door, it's closed. To the right, there's a door that's opened, and it's like a bedroom, I guess, or something. Before the door that's directly in front of the door to the entrance, the entrance of the house. Off to the right, or left, excuse me, there's a small kitchen, and there's some people over there. And so I go in, and there's some kids there who are happy to see me. One kid in particular, I remember specifically, It's a blonde-haired boy, like golden-haired boy. And honestly, he looks like a kid I know whose name is Ryan. And anyway, they're inviting me in, and again, very cordial, very welcoming. But I open this door at the end of this short hallway, and Steve Parker is in this room, and there are several other beings, several other people, whatever, in this room. Okay? And I open the door, and he immediately asks me, he says, "What are you doing here?" This is a man, this is a human who was told of me. He might have been told of me prior to me even finding out about him in 2002. But when I got to that place in 2003 after exiting the military, he was told on 3 different occasions, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, that highest divine white light searched the earth to join me to him. Again, 3 different men. One was Jim Schneider. Jim Schneider is the senior minister at Bethlehem, Vermont. Okay? That's the name of their religious organization. Bethlehem. Okay? Bethtomb. In Rutland, Vermont. Another individual, Todd Murner. Todd Murner is the senior minister at the Rock of Northwest Arkansas. Again, you can find these individuals you look them up. As I'm saying this, you can look them up and you can find out these individuals. And they confirmed while I was there in 2000, when I got there in 2003, in front of the entire congregation, they would call me out in service. And I would go up there and stand in front of them, and they would declare whatever to me and to the people, okay, about me and being joined to Steve Parker. Steve Parker himself told his wife, whose name is Kim or Kimberly, and I mention that again, all the names that I mention are significant, okay? They have adult children today, and I'm going to mention their names. Kaylee, Alexandra, who everyone calls Lindsay, okay? Her middle name is Lindsay. See, I don't know why I said that because Lindsay's important. So her middle name's, no one calls her that. Everyone calls her Alex, I believe. See, I can't even remember now. That's how far withdrawn from all of that energy that I don't even remember. I spent 20 years, I don't even remember what we called her. Alex, I think. And they have a son, Joshua. Like Kaylee and Matt, Steve Parker and Kim Parker also have rainbow children, both of them, okay? Their rainbow child, his name is Stephen. I've had dreams about Stephen. Matt and Kaylee's daughter, or son, name is Matthew, is named after his father, okay? And he was sown. He was returned back to the esoteric shortly after birth, okay? And that was in 2016. Yeah, 2016. I'm almost certain. And so when Steve tells me, he asked me when I opened this door, he says, very plain and very bluntly, "What are you doing here?" Okay. And then at some point, him and I end up in a fight in the bedroom that was to the right of this, a physical fight. Okay. And what I find interesting is that he actually doesn't fight back. Also, Steve, I spent 8 years in the military, 8 years Army, 1995 to 2003. Steve enlisted into the military but ended up going AWOL. I always think it's interesting that highest divine white light would join a real soldier and a spiritual warrior, spiritual assassin, to someone who went AWOL with someone who was so dedicated and committed to even the physical military. I volunteered for war. Okay? So we get done with the scuffle. It really wasn't a scuffle. Again, he wasn't fighting back. Okay? And it was really kind of a wrestling match, I guess you could say. But he wasn't. Mm, um, so when we get done with this little whatever, this group of people who are over by this kitchen area, just outside the door of that room that Steve was in, when he asked me, "What am I doing here? Why am I here?" They were receptive to me. It's 3:44. They were receptive to me. When I started this video, it was 83 degrees. It's 85 degrees now. I can tell you, it's safe to say I will never come back to Arizona between the months of May and September. I will never come back to this state. It's about it's almost uninhabitable between those months. You can't do anything outside. Um, and yeah, when I was here prior, I was here for military intelligence school 22 years ago. When I was here for military intelligence school, 22 might be significant for you. That's when I started getting the cassette tapes about the Rock of Central Florida through my friend Marsha. Okay, 2002. And so there's a group of people, whether they are actually associated with the Rock of Central Florida or not, I don't know. But there was a group of people, small group of people who were outside in this kitchen area, and they wanted to pray with me or what have you. And so we joined hands in this circle. Again, me along with this being, whoever this individual is, who, again, I believe is on this earth, who is supporting me. Who they are, I don't know. It might be for someone from there. Who knows? And which would be a shocking surprise. And so when we get done, it's pouring rain outside, by the way, in the dream, not now. We recently had a hailstorm here, though. And we run outside. And there's one spirit of an individual that I sensed who was there in this quote unquote prayer circle, whatever people support. I'm not going to say who that individual is. I'm going to wait and see if that individual comes forth. That's not the individual who is supporting me on the channel, and that it's not the same person. Okay, it's not the individual who came out of the house with me or went to the house with me. It's not the same person. But I guess after the scuffle or whatever happened, we ended up running out. And at one point I did walk into the room where Steve was. And again, there were other beings there. No one else said anything. Excuse me. And we run out of this house, me and whoever this individual is who is supporting me, whoever this being is. And again, we were going there for some type of vehicle, and a vehicle could represent anything. A vehicle could be resources. A vehicle could be a physical form of transportation. A vehicle could mean support or something of that nature, right? But anyway, that vehicle was not available, and as we're running out of the house, they slammed the door, shut the door behind them, and again, it's raining outside. And hold on. There was I'm being reminded of a chocolate girl in that dream. And I say chocolate, brown chocolate, whatever. And for those of you who do not know, I do not use black and white. That is systemic racism at its core. So I'm a brown American because this is where I was birthed. And I'm more American than many, first of all, because I fought for this fucking country. So I'm more American than many so-called white people. But I don't use the word white. There are brown Americans and there are Caucasian or European Americans. Just like there are Filipino Americans and Mexican Americans and Indian Americans and Canadian Americans and whatever else, Irish Americans and everything else, okay? So when I say brown or chocolate or whatever, I say those things because those are a better depiction of the actual skin tone of the individual, okay? No one's black and no one's white, okay? Again, that's the ignorance of people and systemic systems that are contradicting truth, okay? So the dream ends, we run out of the house, and they're asking me about this individual who's with me is asking me where's the vehicle or something, and I'm like, I don't know, it's not here or something, I don't know. There are 2 vehicles in the driveway, okay? And I sense that whatever the vehicle is that we went there for is actually in the garage. So the 2 vehicles that are there are lined up behind each other, okay? One parked in front of the other in the driveway. The other side of the driveway is completely empty. When I had the dream about in this house, and it's interesting because they call the Rock of Central Florida the house. Okay, that's what they call it. They call what traditionally is called the sanctuary, they call the living room. Okay? In fact, those words living room was above the 2 doors entering into what is traditionally the sanctuary. I don't know if the word living room is still there or not. At this building on State Road 46. And 46 is significant. Steve was birthed in 1964. Okay? I was 46 years and 9 months when I began to realize that I had been asleep for that amount of time. I was spiritually, I was starting to fully awaken. Okay? And again, that's something I wrote down in my journal. I wrote down literally, I was asleep for 46 years and 9 months. Today I'm 49. Okay? And again, I mention that because 49, 94 might be significant for you. So Steve was birthed 10 years and 3 days prior to me. That's a 13. Again, I tell you how significant 13 is for me. Um, what happened in 2013? Someone I was involved with that I met through mutual friends at the Rock of Central Florida was born on 11/13. Okay. Dialysis started in 2013. Myself and Marsha started dialysis in 2013. Tamara Phillips, who was also a part of the Rock of Central Florida, her and her family, got there in 2006 or seven probably, six, probably. Um, Told me back in 2013 that I stood for the righteousness, and Marsha stood for those who lacked something. And I'll just leave it like that. And again, nothing against my friend Marsha. We all fulfill a higher, greater purpose than what we think. Most people think I'm here to get a job, have kids, get married, white picket fence. That is the lowest vibrational thing you could be here for, or you could seek while you are here. That is the lowest vibrational thing you could seek while you are here. Okay? So, I got a couple of things after I woke up. And when I woke up, by the way, and looked at the clock, it was exactly 2 o'clock. 2:00. Okay? So I was birthed on 11/29. Steve was birthed on 11/26. So was Tamara's husband, whose name is Archie. Again, these names might be significant for you. Philip or Phillips, that's their last name. Might be significant for you, just like Parker or Stephen or Kimberly or Kaylee or Matt or, okay? And I also find it interesting that during our little scuffle, none of them came to his rescue. I find that interesting. Um, Steve was made aware of witchcraft that was being done against me. Confirmation with that dog. There was no dog barking for however long this video's been going, 30 minutes, 20 minutes or something. All of a sudden the dog starts barking. So they did not come to his rescue. I find that very interesting. By the way, a dog represents loyalty energetically. That's what a dog stands for. Okay. There's no loyalty there. He chose not to believe me. One of the things that I got after I woke up from this dream and I was meditating on it, I started a crown chakra meditation, just so that I can continue to get the downloads and what was the significance of the dream, and anything else after. And this is when I stood before this spiritual being, whose name is Martha. This being Martha was gray, or something of that color, something gray, blue, something, right? The hair was split right down the middle. It was all the same color. This being is all the same color. Like the hair is different, same color as the skin, no difference. And their hair split right down the middle, and it flowed down both sides and it flowed over their shoulders, and it flowed down like extremely long. This being's their hands was in a praying position. You know, the way that you would, the way that you would start the energetic flow during a Reiki healing session. You know, you rub your hands together in that praying motion, your hands together in front of you. This being cross-legged. Their hands are in front of them like this. Okay? And this being has dark eyes. That's significant. I don't know what that means. Again, I haven't done any research. Again, I'm just relaying directly to you what I just received, an hour ago. And so, one of the things that I heard is that something slowly falling apart, slowly collapsing, slowly something, right, over there. And again, I have something to share with about some friends as well. So, that are not associated with the Rock of Central Florida, at least that I am aware of. So, fragile is another word that I got during this crown chakra meditation moments ago. So the situation's fragile, they're fragile. Steve and Kim, when they started the Rock of Central Florida in 1999, they started at Halloween, 11/31, 1999 was their first service. And every year they celebrate their anniversary on the first week of November or weekend of Halloween, however it happens to fall. Okay? And one of the things that they were told when they got there was that they were going into the land of the giants. Okay? We know that the giants were created by the fallen Anunnaki and Nephilim. By the way, not all Anunnaki are bad, just like not all scorpionic or scorpion energy is bad. Scorpion represents death. It represents new beginning, right? In order for something new to grow, something must die. Mother Nature shows us that with each season. Okay? Literally and esoterically, energetically, right? Something must die in order for something else to live. 250,000 people on the daily basis, on average, 250,000 people die between sunset and sunrise on this globe each and every day on this planet. 250,000 people die between sunrise and sunset every day on average. Okay? And you can look that up. I love statistics. I have a special love for numbers and numerology, and all of it's like music to me, and it all makes sense, and I easily tie it all together. And yeah, and so I was a tax accountant for 13 years, or in that industry, and held various titles over the years, and was self-employed, and will continue to be. I'll never be an employee, or never again, I should say. And any work that I do that earns me any type of monetary anything, it'll be as a consultant or through books that I write, or again consultations and or self-employment. Okay. It's 82 degrees. It's 4:02, and it's the 8th, July 8th. So, I have not heard from anyone at the Rock of Central Florida Since last year, um, two individuals reached out to me, and I'll mention their names. Oh, three. So one was, whose name is Archie, and he's actually, him and his father are, again, part of the leadership or what have you at the Rock of Central Florida. Archie the second or junior, and Archie the third, who everyone calls AJ. Okay, AJ might be significant for you. Um, he is married to someone whose name is Mariah. Okay. I prepared their taxes for a couple of years, actually. Same thing with Tim and Lisbeth Rose. I prepared their taxes. Okay. They also have a son whose name is Alexander. Okay. So Steve and Kim has a daughter named Alexandra. Tim and Liz, as we call her, have a son named Alexander. Both of them have daughters named Kaylee. One is spelled K-A-L-E-Y. The other is spelled K-A-L-E-I-G-H. Okay. There are a lot of double names at the Rock of Central Florida. There are two Kimberleys. Okay. One is spelled K-I-M-B-E-R-L-E-E. The other is spelled the traditional way. There was two Kevins there. The other one they call Cletus, who happens to be Steve's son-in-law, or not son-in-law, but married to his niece. I don't know what that makes him. But everyone calls him Cletus. Okay, I also prepared their taxes for a number, 10 years probably. 10 years probably. And so the three people that reached out to me last year, Chris, AJ, and Rebecca. And again, Rebecca is the niece of Steve. Okay? They relocated there from Oklahoma. Oklahoma might be significant for you. Some years ago, 2000, I don't know, 11 or 10 or something probably. Okay? She has a twin sister whose name is Sarah. Sarah, also a part of the Rock of Central Florida, is married to Tim and Liz's son, Alex. So again, those are the three individual names that I heard from last year who reached out to me after I left in 2022. Keep in mind, Steve has not. Okay? So I want to talk to you for a moment. 407, that's the area code for that area. 407 is Central Florida's main area code. So, and it just turned that when I said it. So, on the microwave, the number 19 is on there. That's where I stopped it. Whatever the last thing I was heating up or whatever. It's the number 19 seconds. '19 was the age of the kidney that I received in 2017 at that time. Again, yesterday just celebrated the 7th anniversary. I am a Life Path 7 also, along with a Master Builder 7. 11/29/74 breaks down to 11/11/11. which of course is 33. And that is how you calculate the master builder number. So yesterday, I disconnected officially from people that I've known for 30 years, 30 plus years. For a long time, I considered them my family. You've heard me mention them many times. Scott, Amy, Amy's daughter Alyssa, who I met when she was like 6 months. Her and my daughter Kimberly actually ran around, crawled around the house up the street from Lake Brantley in 1996. When I came home on leave from the military, I took my daughter Kimberly over there. She was, it was probably 97, I'll say, because Kim was born in, again, I have a daughter named Kimberly. So you see the synchronicities? Okay. I also have a daughter named Alexis. Alexis. You see that? Alex. Alexis. Okay. Her family, her mother's side of the family calls her Lexi. So by the way, my daughters are turning 28 this year. Okay. So I was unaware of one existing until 2010. That 2010 might be significant for you. And so I made a post on Facebook yesterday. And again, I had already only had 25 or so friends on Facebook. So I knew for certain that it was coming time to cut some ties that I had held on to. It was the last remnants of a life that no longer exists. Okay? And I'm going to say that again. It's the remnants of a life that no longer exists. Okay? So let it go, collective. Let them go, collective. Let them go. Let them go. It's only for your good. It's only for your good. Let them go. And so I posted on Facebook that it's time to trim the tree again. And these are my exact words. I said, it's time to trim the friendship tree again. I said, I do not apologize. I said, it is often those who are closest to you. I said, so recognize where your support is and is not coming from. Okay? To sum up what I was saying. So, yesterday evening, like I typically do, I go out and I go to the park. I go sit out at the park. Confirmation with whatever that startup was. Car, truck. So, I went out to the park and I'm sitting there. And I'm just in my whatever, and I'm actually speaking And I'm listening to, I don't even remember what it was. It was something or other. Might have been binary beats, or it was something. It was something. But I'm listening to this and I'm chanting. Okay, so one of my lifetimes I was Celtic, and so that's where my chanting and humming comes from. By the way, I realized that on the live that I did, the Reiki shamanic uh, cleansing that I did, um, the volume for the meditation was up too loud, and for some whatever reason, I did not turn it down when I did not turn it down, and so I was unaware when this was going on. So I do apologize for that, um, and I'll be aware of that moving forward. Um, it's 4:13 on the timer. April 14th. Just turned 4:14. Just turned 4:14. Okay. I was gonna say 4:13 might be significant for you for a birthday or what have you. It just turned 4:14, so 4:14. Okay, 4:14, 144. Yeah, very very strong angel number there. Okay, um, and oh, by the way, one of the main streets, thoroughfares in Central Florida is 441. Okay, that is Orange Blossom Trail, 441, State Road 441, runs like almost the entire length of the state practically, 441. Okay, OBT. That's also where in the 90s, I don't know about today, it was notorious for um, hookers, hoes, sluts. Um, yeah, it was notorious for that. Prostitutes. Okay. Um, that particular street it was. And no, I don't know from experience, believe me, okay? I went to Amsterdam and only went to a topless bar, okay? I did not participate in any of the nonsense. That was in 1999, okay? July 4th weekend when I was stationed in Germany. So, I'm sitting there on this bench on a picnic table in this park yesterday, okay, 7/7, at about 8 o'clock in the evening. And I get a text message. And this text message is going to confirm one, my choice earlier. So earlier in that text, in that message on Facebook, or after, I went in and I started unfriending people. Okay. And again, Scott and Amy's mother, by the way, she was married to a gentleman whose name is Mark King. Okay. Again, those two names might be significant for you. For 30 something years before she passed on 3/8 of 2020. Okay, so she passed right at the beginning of the pandemic. So in 2020, three significant, four significant beings passed from this 3D matrix. Okay, I'll say three that I am energetically tied to directly. Okay, one of them you don't have to believe, you will just have to see and know. Okay, so one is again my friend Marcia. She passed on 1/28, 2020. Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and seven others perished or ascended, however their souls went, in that helicopter crash. Okay. I want to recall the mountainside, but I don't recall it at this time. I'm sure that's significant. And then Barbara, Scott and Amy's mother, Mark King's wife, passed on 3/8. I had spent time with her within the last 24 hours that she was physically breathing pneuma. Okay, pneuma is the breath of highest divine white light. And her husband, Mark, she was staying at Scott's. And his wife, Rachel. Rachel might be significant for you. Staying at their house. And I went over there. She considered me a son. And I believed that they considered me to be a brother. And when I was there, her husband Mark told me, he said, I believe that she was waiting to see you again, and she's waiting on her brother. That's what he told me. She was still breathing. And I think her brother came by later that evening. Okay? I had spent time with her in the hospital during this time, and she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in 2018. Okay? 2018 might be significant for you. Okay. Yes, 18. Okay. Scott called me and told me that news. I remember clearly. It was a Saturday, and it was like in October. I remember because I was at the office, my office at that time. I was doing some work. I had just left the woman that I was married to for 2.5 years. Her name is Katina. That name might be important to you or significant for you. Okay? Katina or Tina. And so I started unfriending them, anyone associated with them, their friends, whoever, right? Other people that I had known since I've known them, whatever, right? Mutual friends. So I'm sitting here on this bench, and I'm just in my own place. I'm in my own whatever, and I'm chanting. Let me see if I can recall exactly what I was saying. I was saying, you placed me on the water. And I'm saying this out loud. And I'm kind of tapping my feet, right? You placed me on the water. You placed me on the water. Along with whatever frequency or tune I was listening to on the phone through the earbuds. And all of a sudden, ding, I get a text message. I'm going to show you what obedience does without understanding. I'm going to tell you what obedience does without understanding. Highest divine white light has confirmed us, collective, has confirmed us. So in this text message, it says, hey, I noticed your message on Facebook. I went to check my friends list and noticed that this individual, speaking of the Scorpio, was back on their friends list. And they told me in the text message, they said, I don't know how that happened. And then they said something like, talk to you later or something like that. Okay? So, I have no idea if any of them whatsoever, the people that I've mentioned, listen to the channel. I have no idea, and I don't care. Okay? Highest divine white light got me out of there because highest divine white light knows who I am and how I am. And he can't have me in prison because I beat somebody's ass. Steve Parker, I will kick your ass. Do you understand me? I will beat your ass. Do you understand? Okay? Archie Phillips, I will beat your ass. AJ, Chris, I'm telling you. This is why highest divine white light got me out of there. Okay? I'm not just some soldier somebody who enlisted into the military. I'm a spiritual assassin. I will kick your ass physically. Okay? So that would not serve my purpose. Okay? I am needed here. That is the reason why they have not been able to unalive me, because they can't. And whoever else has been doing witchcraft, the sperm donor, warlock, Judy, the sperm donor siblings, and whoever else, okay? This is why they can't kill this, because I'm immortal. They can't kill this, okay? You can't kill what highest divine white light has confirmed. You can't kill it, okay? So I'm looking at Echo here, and it just blinked, just for no reason when I said that. It just blinked. It just went dark and then came back on for just whatever. Okay? There's nothing playing. There's nothing. It's a black screen. So Steve, highest divine white light told me, Steve has become the giant, or one of the giants that he was sent there to conquer. Stephen Lee Parker has become one of the giants that he was sent there to slay. So this is the equivalent of David joining Goliath. Okay? David has now gone over to the Goliath's side. So David now is part of the Nephilim. And the fallen Anunnaki that created the giants. That's where Steve Parker is today. It's a slow death, I heard. It's a slow death. By the way, he was diagnosed with cancer in, I don't know what year, 18 or something like that. While I was there, he was healed. In fact, at one point in time, I met with him directly in his office. We would meet from time to time. I met with him in his office, and he told me in that meeting, before he announced it publicly that Sunday, that he was healed. I think that meeting, typically I met with him on a Friday, okay? If I did meet with him. I just like meeting with him on Fridays. I don't know why. So anyway, yeah, okay? That's the 6th day of the week. So it's unfortunate that the signs and synchronicities were shown to these individuals, to these humans. Because when you operate in that energy, you are not a spiritual being, you are a human. You are functioning in your humanness. And that is, again, like having 2.5 kids, a dog, and a white picket fence. That is the lowest vibrational energy you can have. Okay? Going to a job, getting a good education, and working for a pension. That is the lowest vibrational energy you can be in. It's like religion, going to church every week, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That is the lowest vibrational energy you can be in. Okay? And so, what this individual did not know who sent me this message is that I was unaware that they were once again connected to the Scorpio, who was a part of the Rock of Central Florida, or was, and again, doing witchcraft against me. Okay? And also a closet lesbian, by the way. Okay? Again, clit to clit will never produce a starch seed or a light worker. Okay? His dick in his ass, or dick in any ass, will never produce one. Right? But specifically, a dick in another dick's ass, that is an abomination. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed. I don't know why people go around supporting LBTQHYGOYBTQ, whatever. I don't know why people go around supporting that shit, because they're trying to be politically correct. You need to call it like it is. Okay? Even on YouTube, tarot readers, these motherfuckers, they are afraid to say what I'm saying. They try to sugarcoat shit. There is no sugarcoating that. Okay? There is no sugarcoating that. Okay? So again, those things, those homosexual, lesbian energies, that energy, again, along with creating the giants, is what the fallen Anunnaki and Nephilim created when they created the giants. They came here and began to, and showed beings here what that was. Okay? And this is after Adam and Eve. Okay? They came here and showed the beings who were on this planet that. That much you can find out even between Genesis and Revelation, even though that book is kind of shitty. Okay? So, this individual sent me that message. They had no idea that I did not know that they were connected back with that individual on Facebook. Again, because I'm not following anybody. I'm not trying to look into anybody. I'm not trying to find out where anybody is. Okay? The downloads that I get, I look into them, and then I take whatever it shows me and I let it go. Okay? But that was confirmation that I made the right decision yesterday on 7/7 when I released all of them. So I went from 25 friends on Facebook to 8. 17 is significant. I'm telling you. What comes from this throat chakra is the truth. It's unadulterated and it's unashamed. So, immediately I started celebrating out there at this park. I started celebrating because I knew for certain I had been officially released. There was nothing that was calling me back to Florida, a reason for me to go back to Florida. Okay? If it is true that indeed Amy's daughter, Alyssa, by the way, her husband's name is Ken. That name might be significant for you. Okay? There are some things that I could say about that, but I won't. Her daughter, Alyssa, was married to a gentleman for a short period of time whose name is Jacob. They were married for only months last year. I went to the wedding. Okay? It was the only social event I went to in 2023 before I left Florida. I didn't go to anything else last year. And And they are now divorced. They were literally married for less than a year. Okay? Confirmation with that train horn. It's 4:33. And so she contacted me. I had prepared their taxes. Hers for the last couple of years. She's a hairdresser, hairstylist. And he's an engineer of some sort. And his name is Jacob, by the way. And so um, their mother, by the way, I call my other mother Mom, M-O-M, is what I called Barbara. My other mother, the woman who passed on 3/8/20. Okay? And um, she called me, she considered me her other son. She really did. Um, it's 434. 434 is a street in Sanford or in Central Florida. And so I felt so free. Oh, Alyssa. So she contacted me last year and told me that she received an email or emails from someone who was a doppelganger. And they had somehow used my email, my business email address, to contact her and Jacob and squander them out of $1,500. Okay? And I had no reason to doubt. But she sent me the email that she had received. I had no reason to doubt it. And to be honest with you, I have no reason to doubt it today, although now I question some things. So she sent me this email, all right? And I can't begin to tell you how bad I felt for more than a year. And I do still, again, I do still feel bad. I shouldn't say that. About them being lied to by whoever this doppelganger was or is, portraying themselves as me, okay, jealous because of whatever they thought I had, okay. Interestingly, I've given all of that away, so I have a Job experience. It's 436. 436 is a street in Sanford or in Central Florida, okay. And so, also 8 times 4, right? Um, I'm sorry, 6 times 6, okay, um, is 36. And so 8 times 4 is 32. And so um, when we're looking at our lives, I constantly, and I don't mean to harp on, but I constantly speak on synchronicities. And I do that for a reason, okay? That text message freed me from that entire family, from that 30 years of friendship, 32 years of friendship. I met them in 1992. Okay? It freed me up from that because I was thinking that they were on my side. And again, it's often those closest to you. All right? So, I know this video has run a little long, but I wanted to get these dreams and synchronicities over the last 24 hours out. And also, over the last couple of days, I've been seeing bullet shell casings literally on the street, no matter which way I turn. Okay, where I'm currently at, it's the house is kind of in the middle of a street. If I go turn right and go down that street, or go right out of the gate and then turn left down the very first street, see bullet casings on that street. Then if I turn left and go down the very first street to the right, and both of these streets go towards the park that I go to. I've seen bullet casings on both corners, both streets. Okay, so that's significant. Again, I don't own a gun. I've never even shot. I call it a weapon. I've never even shot a weapon outside of the military. I was an expert marksman from basic training for 8 years, expert marksman. Okay, consistently 38 out of 40. Right, and so I don't know what that means for the bullets. Okay, something's deadly. Perhaps, however it goes. Again, whatever is written is written. Okay, it's dharma and karma. We have to decide which side of the fence we're going to be on, because you can't be both. You can't serve two masters. Okay, Steve, you can't serve two. Kimberly Kerner Parker, you can't serve two masters. Okay, you can't be religious and also be spiritual. Okay, you can't be a giant, a demonic Anunnaki Nephilim giant, and also be a divine being. You can't be both. You have to decide. It's like Twix, pick a side. 440 on the timer. Pick a side. And it just blinked again. It just blinked again. The echo. Pick a side. Okay? And so thank you so much again for listening to this. Again, I am here for those who are ready to go. Those who are ready and say, here I am, send me. I am here for those. And those are few. Okay, but that is who I am here for. I'm not here for the unbeliever. Yeshua was here from the unbeliever. I am here for the hardcore believer. The one who will leave mother, father, daughter, son, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, spouse for the truth. I am here for those. Let me open this window so we can hear the sights and sounds of the morning real quick. Hear the cat? Hear the cat fight? So thank you so much for tuning in. You have been tuned into Esoteric Guidance. My name is Nehru. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribers, thank you. I believe we're at 164. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for your love. Whoever the individual is out here who is supporting me, first of all, you should feel confident to step forward. There's no need for you to stay in hiding like that. There's no need for that. I absolutely understand confidentiality. Again, I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of social security numbers and personal information given to me over the 13 years that I was a tax accountant. So, and I've never compromised any of that information. In a lot of cases, I was the lone person responsible for millions of dollars in some cases when I was an employee. Never did I compromise. Never did I steal. Never did I lie. Okay? So I have a exceptional level of confidentiality. Okay? Um, so yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah. Stay tuned. Again, I will be sharing the next collective reading here this week, next week, I'm not sure. We'll also be starting the book of the 12 patriarchs. We will be starting that book here soon. That will be the next book of the hidden canon texts that have been hidden from us or removed by the Vatican or whoever else, secret societies and etc. So thank you so much as always. And as always, stay encouraged and tune in again soon.